Hello everybody. As you can see, I am not at school today. I am sick, but I'm still coming at you today. All right. So we are still going to be working on fractions. We're going to be working on regrouping improper fractions and subtracting with regrouping. So this is your morning work. So the sub can go ahead and pause this so that you can see the problems for today. I want you to try to work them. She's going to give you about 2 or 3 minutes, and then we're going to go over those together. All right, so regrouping to include an improper fraction. So this is a skill that you need to have. You need to understand this before you can actually subtract with regrouping. So it's an important thing for you to grasp and understand. So we're going to work on this independently, and this is something that you're going to be doing for your work today. So you're going to work on this, and it's independent, and then we're going to apply it to a subtraction problem. All right, so 18 1/4. Now remember, when you are regrouping, what you're going to do is you're going to take one whole from here. So we're going to take one whole from the 18. Obviously, when we do that, it's going to make that 17. And since we have fourths, remember taking one whole out of that is taking 4/4. Remember that brownie pan. If we cut it into 4 pieces and we eat the whole thing, we've had 4/4. So you can remember that, and you can use it. An easy way to remember is to go ahead and just add your numerator and denominator. So we've got 1 plus 4, obviously it's going to give us 5, and denominator is going to stay the same. So if you put 17 5/4, you are absolutely correct. Good job. All right, 21 2/5. Again, remember, fifths, that's what we're dealing with. So 5/5 would equal 1 whole. Remember, the easy way to do this is to just add your numerator and denominator. So we're going to take 1 away from the whole number, and that's going to become 20. Add the numerator and denominator, that would be 7. Denominator stays the same, fifths. So if you did 20 7/5, you got the answer right. Good job. Now we're going to apply this information that we just remembered, we just reviewed, to an actual subtraction problem. So it's subtracting with mixed numbers. So we've got 13 1/2 minus 9 4/5. All right. So we've got, first of all, we don't have a common denominator. So we can't do anything until we have a common denominator. So here, when I count by 2s, the nice thing about 5s, remember, the divisibility rule is that when we count by 5s, we either have a 0 or a 5 in the 1s column. So if we count by 2s, the first one we come to with a 0 or a 5, then is going to be our number. Well, what else do we know about 2s? Well, when I count by 2s, I'm never going to get a 5. So I've got to look for that 0 in the 1s column. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Aha, there's my 0. Well, I counted by 2s 5 times. Well, how many times do I count by 5s to get 10? 5, 10, 2 times. So then when I rewrite this, this is going to be 13, and 1 times 5 is 5, 2 times 5 is 10. Then we have 9, and 4 times 2 is 8, 5 times 2 is 10. So that's our first step. Now we have common denominators. Then we look to, can we subtract the numerators? I've got 5/10 minus 8/10, and I can't do that. If I only have 5, I can't take 8 of them away. So here, that's where this comes into play, this regrouping. So I take a look at that 13, and I've got to make that a 12. And then I add up my numerator and denominator, which gives me 15/10. And just to make it easier to see, I'm going to go ahead and write my 9 8/10 back over here. Now I have a problem that can be solved. Everything's okay about it. Common denominators, my top numerator is larger than my bottom numerator, so I can go ahead and subtract. So I've got 15 tenths minus 8 tenths, which gives me 7 tenths. I've got 12 minus 9. Well, 9, one more would be 10, 11, 12, so that would be 3. 3 and 7 tenths. The next thing I need to look at, just for the bonus points, because remember, this is not a mastered skill for 5th grade, but I know a lot of you guys are really good at reducing the fractions, putting it into simplest form. So I've got 3 and 7 tenths. When I look at 7 tenths, I know a lot of you are looking at that 7 and saying, that's a prime number. So since it's a prime number, the other number has to also be divisible by that number. So when I come down here, I can't do 10 divided by 7 and get a whole number, okay? There's gonna be a remainder. So this is already reduced as far as it can be. All right, so 3 and 7 tenths. I hope you guys got that. I'm hoping that this is looking familiar to you, is you're looking at it and you're thinking, oh gosh, I know I can do these. The problems that you have today are exactly like this. I'm gonna erase what I have up here. And I'm going to go over one question from each side of the paper that I have for you today. It happens to be the one that already has an answer, but I want to show you the process to get the answer, or how they got the answer. Okay? So the first page, it says, I don't want to do fly south. I want to do the one, there's one with the improper fractions independently before you get into the subtracting. So this one is called, what's his reason? So they have on this paper, keeps trying to get away from me there. Okay. So on this paper, they have problems written out, and like they have, the one that I'm going to show you is 9 and 4/11. And then they have equals 8 and so many 11ths. So they're just leaving out one of the numbers. So when you take this and you regroup it, you're taking one whole out. So that's where we get the 8. And then 11ths, the denominator stays the same. So they just want you to find the numerator. So you would add the numerator and denominator to get your answer, okay? So some of them, they have the numerator missing, and some of them, they have the denominator missing. So you're gonna have to figure out from there what the answer is, and then use that to fill in the code at the bottom. All right, so that's the first side. I know you won't have any problems with that one. The other side, I don't anticipate you'll have any problems with that either. But it's called Let's Fly South, and I tried to show you that one first. All right, so they have some subtraction problems. Now remember, I told you I don't like to do the subtraction problems horizontally. If they're written out horizontally, I would prefer you get a separate sheet of paper and rewrite them out vertically. It's just easier to see. You're less likely to get mixed up on the numbers if you write it out vertically. So the first one that they have is the one I'm going to show you. 5 1/6 minus 2 5/6. Now this one's nice because the denominators are already the same. So we just look at this and say, okay, we've got 1 as a numerator and 5 as a numerator. 1 minus 5. Well, we can't do that. So we have to regroup this 5, make it a 4, and then we add our numerator and denominator to get 7. Denominator stays the same. All right, then we just bring over the 2 5/6, and now we're ready to subtract. 7/6 minus 5/6 is 2/6. 4 minus 2 is 2. Now, this is the answer. However, when you go down to the riddle, this answer is not going to be acceptable. They want you to reduce. So when you're looking at this, I notice that they're both even. Since they're both even, I know that they're both divisible by 2. Now, let's go ahead and check if they're both divisible by 4. Well, we've got 2 here, so that doesn't even make any sense. So to go any higher doesn't make any sense with this one because the 2 is smaller than the 4, and it's just not going to work. So we're going to go ahead and use the divisibility by 2, and 2 divided by 2, 2 in a group of 2 is one group. 6, putting in groups of 2, there'll be 3 groups. So the reduced answer would be 2 1/3. Okay? All right, so I want you to work on these papers, and then at the end of, when you come back from specials today, which would be music, when you come back from music, you're going to start to go over these. And so I don't know how the sub will have you do this, whether you'll go up to the board or how you'll share the answers. But I'm hoping you'll go up to the board and each one of you get a problem to write up there, and then you can check your answers that way. Now, I would really appreciate it if you all would focus when other people are up at the board. That is a respect issue. And I just want you to remember, you need to make sure you stay off the escalator. All right? And you know what I'm talking about. All right. So I want you to work hard today. I want you to use this as a review. You know, your test is coming up. So I want you to use this as a review. All right? I want you to stay focused, keep watching, always stay curious, keep learning, and I'll see you soon.